What is going on, everybody? I am the FD Guru, bringing to you guys a Wednesday NBA edition of my DFS podcast. We have 10 games on the main slate tonight. We're coming off of a very, very solid night last night, sweeping the main slate rather easily with the GPP cash and hybrid lineups. We were due for that. Hopefully that starts a trend of good things for us to come, especially heading into the holiday weekend. Quick little recap. The best team last night was the best team that I had on my site was the GPP. Sohan crushed for 37. We had Simons in every lineup, Grant in every lineup. Ingram did really well. Bobby Portis was a huge tournament play on FanDuel last night at low ownership, 44 points. I had him in the video yesterday. Zach Collins was an obvious chalk piece. And then I had Al Horford in every lineup. And honestly, in my opinion, Al Horford should have had the same ownership that Zach Collins did. With no Porzingis, it was an easy play on a small 4-game slate. I also faded Herb Jones and Zion on the Pelicans, and a lot of people played them. Decided not to go that route, and it really helped us out. So let's have another good night tonight. It's a tough slate. Hopefully we can get some injury news because we need it. The value is pretty bad right now. I do these videos in the early afternoon, so things usually change. We do have Donovan Mitchell questionable, and that is a 7 o'clock Eastern game, so we'll get that news before lock. Also have Paul George questionable with an illness. He missed shoot around. He could definitely miss too. They have an 8:30 Eastern game. Hopefully we get that news before lock, but the Mitchell news is more important in my opinion because if he's out, it's just going to unleash a ton of Cavs players, mainly Karis LeVert, Max Strus, Jared Allen, and so forth. But we'll leave them out of this video because we have no idea. But definitely something to keep your eyes on for later. As usual, I'm going to give you guys 5 plays, 1 for each position. Again, the value is bad tonight, so even the cheaper plays I have in this video are not must plays. They're just who I like the most right now. So point guard, I like Fred VanVleet. He's been cooking. His price has gone up a few $100 to $8,400, but he's been so good the last 3 games. 69 against the Cavs. Had him on my cash team on that slate. 45 minutes. I think this game went to overtime too. So he looks really good because we know VanVleet's playing a ton of minutes. The only downside to him this year has been the Rockets playing at such a slow pace. They're, at the bottom of the barrel for, speed or team pace in a game. So it's really kind of hindered their fantasy player outcomes. VanVleet, though, in this matchup against the Hawks play so fast. They're going to be forced to play faster than they usually do. We have an unusually high over-under. It's a usual high for the Hawks, but an unusually high for the Rockets because they usually play slow. 233 over-under. That's one of the higher over-unders we've seen in a Rockets game this year. I expect this team to cook fantasy-wise. VanVleet has just been all over the place. 17 assists last game. He needs 42 fantasy points to hit value. He looks pretty good. And in that same boat, Jalen Brunson for $100 more. You could also look at. They're 2 of my favorite point guard value plays on this slate. Brunson should do just fine in Brooklyn tonight against his rival New York team, the Nets. Shooting guard, we'll get a little bit of value here, but I don't love it. Maybe it's really more of a GPP play because he's been up and down. But Tim Hardaway looks good at 5,600. He's going to come off the bench. He doesn't start. He's really the number 2 best scorer on the Mavs. He's a better shooter than any of those Mavs starters outside of Luka. Kyrie's still out. Hardaway could easily play his way into 30-plus minutes off the bench. They got blown out by the Nuggets last game, so we can't really look at that game. Other than that blowout last game, the 2 out of his last 3, 43 and 35 fantasy points. He's going to play over 30 minutes. He needs 26 fantasy points to hit value. He could easily hit that. He's shown a pretty low floor, though, if his shot isn't falling. But he obviously has a lot of extra usage with Kyrie Irving off the court. Again, it's not a comfortable play, but it's a play worth looking at under 6K for tonight because, like I said earlier, there's not a lot of value to pick from. So we're going to have to get uncomfortable. 20 teams playing, it's kind of wild. We're kind of in this position. We were in this position last night, but that was a 4-game slate. We shouldn't have to really get uncomfortable on a 10-game slate, but we might have to. Hardaway looks pretty good one way or the other tonight. And then in that same range, again, we're just scraping around for 5K, guys. Brandon Miller at 5,800. He hasn't even been playing that well, but it's a strict matchup pick here against the Pacers. The Pacers play the fastest in the league. It's really the Pacers, it's the Hawks, it's the Bucks. They all have bad defenses and they all play so fast. So we've seen the highest over-unders this year when the Bucks, Hawks, and Pacers all play each other. The Hornets have a great matchup here in Indiana. 248 over-under. Miller, we know what we're going to get out of Miller. He's a third option on this team behind Rozier. Really a fourth option behind Rozier, Hayward, and Bridges. But they still don't have LaMelo Ball, so there's definitely usage going around to Brandon Miller. He's a rookie. They're definitely trying to get him, some looks in his first year. He's playing plenty of minutes. We can project him in a close game tonight to get 30 to 36 minutes. The Pacers are a 10-point spread, but I don't buy it. Miles Turner is also questionable in this one, and Tyrese Halliburton hasn't been playing well as of late. I kind of like the Hornets at plus 10 tonight. Terry Rozier's been cooking. I think this game stays closer. I don't really think we have to worry about a blowout. Miller needs 28 fantasy points to hit value tonight. And again, he's been right around there. He's by no means a must-play, but again, we're just kind of scraping around for value, and I wanted to give a couple of sub 6K value picks in this video to help you guys, have a base. Miller looks pretty good. He's going to play minutes. He's projected for like 26 fantasy points. It's a great matchup. I could easily see him getting 30 plus tonight. So he looks pretty good at small forward at 5,800. Power forward, a new development. One of my more favorite plays tonight. At power forward, he can play center too. Isaiah Hartenstein. We got Jericho Sims an hour ago. Since I started this video an hour ago. He's been ruled out for 1 to 2 weeks with an ankle injury, and they are still without Mitchell Robinson. He only played 3 minutes. He got hurt early in that game. We saw Hartenstein play 38 minutes. This guy is going to take in all he can handle. I don't really know who else they're going to go to. Maybe they kind of offset it where they have Randall coming in to give him rest, and Randall can play the 5 a little bit. But Hartenstein's going to play. I mean, it's a safe bet to project him for 32 to 38 minutes tonight. His price did go up a little bit to $6,400, but I do not care. This guy does everything. He's like a mini Şengün a little bit. He scores a little bit, he rebounds, he assists, he gets active on the defensive end. He's by no means as good as Şengün, but he plays, to a similar style. Just in terms of fantasy, he fills it up. 17 rebounds. When he gets the minutes, he can cook. 43 fantasy points. He needs 32 tonight. He is developed into one of my more favorite plays on this slate tonight against the Nets. Pretty high over-under considering it is the Knicks and they play slow. 233 over-under. It's a 1-point spread. Basically a pick 'em. This game's going to be competitive. I like Hartenstein to cruise past 30 fantasy points tonight. I'm going to have a hard time getting off of him. With Jericho Sims starting, you never knew how much he was going to play off the bench if Sims played well, and it was kind of up in the air. But with Sims out tonight and Hartenstein expected to start, this guy is going to be ran into the floor. So this is a really good play. He should be priced up around 7K for sure. And then for center, going back to the Rockets, I like Şengün for the same reasons as Van Vliet. Şengün has a great upside. Whenever he has games that he doesn't produce as much as he should, it's because of the Rockets play slow. They're usually a part of 220 over-unders or less, 215, 212, and there's not as many possessions. The Hawks matchup tonight, there's going to be plenty of possessions, making these Rockets guys look really, really good because they can produce when they get the opportunity. Şengün Needs 41 fantasy points tonight. He's projected for 43. He's been getting over 40 over the last 2 games. He's averaging 41.5 on the year. Great matchup against the Hawks. Fast-paced, a lot of scoring. 3-point spread, so it should be pretty close. I really like Şengün as an $8,300 center tonight to round out the video. That'll do it here. Again, I'm hoping things change. I hope we get Mitchell out to open up some value, but these are some plays that you should be targeting when making your lineups tonight. Give this video a like, subscribe, and until next time, I am the FD Guru. Peace.